Paula Kehoe is the Director of Water Resources for SFPUC, the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, responsible for diversifying, as Steve Ritchie was saying earlier, taking care of just the diversity of San Francisco's local water supply portfolio. He pointed to key need for that. So it's a big job. And so she's been developing and implementing conservation, groundwater, and recycled water programs, obviously both in San Francisco and nationally with the Blue Ribbon Commission. So Paula spearheaded the landmark legislation allowing for the collection, treatment, and use of alternative water sources in buildings. We heard a little bit of the update on the rulemaking on that earlier, and is very much involved in just the rules within San Francisco of that. Previously, she worked as the assistant to the general manager of the SFPUC, who supporting the utility's $4.8 billion WESIP. That was the 99% completion project at this point, right? That is done, and of course, there's, I guess, more to do with that big tunnel, but that isn't part of this. But anyway, she was involved in that huge capital improvement project, and then also has had a role as a public education director for SFPUC's water pollution prevention program, and receiving numerous state and national awards. So please take it away, Paula, with updates on I keep thinking of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Maybe they should have been a sponsor for the Blue Ribbon Commission.
Thanks, Dennis. Well, I'm not going to talk about beer. I'm going to talk about on-site water reuse. So hopefully that will be just as exciting. I know it's Friday afternoon. So I'm going to talk about what we're doing on the national level and provide some examples of the work that we're doing that's all publicly available, as well as some projects. So just quickly for context, when we talk about on-site water reuse, we're talking about collecting and treating water on site, whether it's in an individual building or a small district, a collection of buildings, and taking various alternative water sources, whether it's rainwater or stormwater or foundation drainage or gray water or black water, again, capturing that water, treating it, and all doing this locally on a decentralized scale, and reusing it for non-potable applications, most commonly used for toilet flushing, irrigation, cooling applications, and in some cases, clothes washing. So what we've been doing on a national level is we formed a collaborative, and it's really a unique partnership between public health regulators from local, state, and federal public health regulators, as well as water and wastewater utilities across North America, as well as US EPA and the Army, US Army. And this collaboration really is unique. It's an opportunity for public agencies to get together to talk about the challenges and solutions associated with on-site water recycling in our communities. We also collaborate with the U.S. Water Alliance, the Water Research Foundation, and the Water Reuse Association. We started this collaboration in 2014, and so we're going on 6 years. It's a voluntary effort, and it's only growing. And I mentioned North America because we have City of Vancouver and Toronto as our partners as well. And in 2016, we did establish our formal name, the National Blue Ribbon Commission. We actually established that in the White House Summit when President Obama had a White Water Summit. We made the commitment to form a collaboration and accelerate on-site water recycling throughout the U.S. And that really established the formation of the National Blue Ribbon Commission for on-site non-potable water systems. And really some of our key issues I just want to touch on, and some of our our principles and practices is really to create consistent water qualities standards from state to state. Currently, if you're in Colorado or you're in New York or California, the standards for gray water, for example, may be very different. So we were trying to create consistency. We're also trying to establish health risk-based water quality standards to actually promote standards that are based on protecting public health. And we also are addressing local oversight or state oversight and management programs to ensure when these decentralized on-site water treatment systems are installed in buildings or neighborhoods that they are protective of public health as they continue to be operated over time. We've also developed a number of technical assistance materials to help all of our partners in the Commission as well as the community at large. And I'm going to share some of those materials. And again, all of these materials are publicly available. And throughout our collaboration in the Commission, it's really serves as a great forum for peer-to-peer learning, so we can learn from one another, actually practitioners implementing these systems in their community and share what works and what doesn't work. And in terms of establishing health risk-based water quality standards, this was a very important research effort that we undertook a couple years ago. We worked with NWRI to have an independent expert panel that developed a health risk-based framework for on-site water treatment systems. And really, it's all focused around a pathogen log reduction target approach, or for protozoa, bacteria, and virus, similar to how potable reuse and drinking water standards. So the framework itself is not necessarily unique, but what's unique is the actual establishment of these LRTs for on-site water treatment systems, treating rainwater, gray water, blackwater, or stormwater. Key to the effort in terms of this framework is also to have continuous online monitoring in these on-site treatment systems, again, and to provide reporting on the water quality data. We've also developed a number of other documents, a blueprint for on-site water treatment systems, really again to help communities figure out how to develop a program on the local level or the state level, the different types of entities and agencies that should be involved. We more recently developed a guidebook for implementing regulations, again, either on a state or local level. And I'm going to share with you some of those efforts in a few minutes about how those regulations are moving forward. Our most recent technical assistance material that we developed is a guidance manual for on-site water reuse. And it's really about how do you design on-site water treatment systems to meet these log reduction targets, also targeted information that's for a variety of stakeholder groups that are involved in on-site water treatment systems, from designers to operators to regulators. And also it's included is guidance on commissioning and operations. And again, all of these documents are available. We haven't forgotten the potential concerns, whether the potential challenges as well as benefits for utilities. So we developed a document called Making the Utility Case for On-Site Non-Potable Water Systems. We looked at a number of different systems throughout the country and looked at some of the benefits and also some of the potential challenges associated with these decentralized water treatment systems and how communities actually address those challenges. Really, the report focuses and highlights some ways that these systems have enabled communities to stretch their drinking water supplies, to assist with both stormwater and wastewater management. In some cases, communities have been able to defer capital investments in the larger centralized infrastructure, making it smaller, and also looking at the ability for these treatment systems to potentially lower the energy footprint. I'm going to switch to some examples of some of this work that's happening across the U.S. San Francisco, we have adopted the log reduction targets that I mentioned that we developed. Our local Department of Public Health has incorporated these log reduction targets in their rules and regulations. And we developed an excellent guidebook really to help developers and designers and engineers, again, really translate create this information about how do you meet those LRTs, and we provide design and implementation tips. We also provide example treatment trains, and we provide a lot of guidance and lessons learned that we've learned from San Francisco. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that. And just to share with you is an example of a treatment train to treat Blackwater for on-site for toilet flushing and irrigation. I mean, may not be able to see all of the detail here on the screen, but again, the guidebook is meant to get into very detailed information to understand how do you get the credits, and also tips in terms of operating and treating these water sources. California, I don't want to talk too much because I think you just had a great presentation on SB 966. We're very excited and we're very happy that the state board's moving forward on developing risk-based water quality standards for the state of California. Again, we look forward to participating in the stakeholder outreach, and we're very excited about all the great work that's happening at the state. But it's not just California that's moving forward on legislation. Colorado has actually already gone ahead and amended Regulation 84. And what 84 is about is it differentiates between centralized and non-potable reuse treatment systems. And what it did was it expanded and allowed for non-potable end uses for toilet flushing and urinal flushing from Blackwater treatment systems on site. And as well, Colorado has incorporated the log reduction targets for the on-site treatment systems. And again, as a whole, they're moving all of their regulatory structure towards a fit-for-purpose public health target. So we're very excited to see that Colorado has already moved forward. And that really has enabled Denver Water to install an engineered wetland treatment system, living machine similar to the system that's in the San Francisco PUC headquarters. They completed the construction. This is inside their lobby. They can treat about 7,000 gallons a day. They'll be treating both Blackwater and rainwater to meet all of their toilet flushing and irrigation demands. They'll be saving about 1.4 million gallons of potable water each year. Unfortunately, the building's not occupied, so the system is on standby, but it has been constructed and completed. Austin, Texas is another example of a community that's really has embraced on-site water reuse. They have a water forward plan, and that plan actually incorporates and projects that there will be a development of 10 million gallons a day of new supply just from on-site water treatment systems by 2040. The photo here that's shown is actually Austin's new permitting and development center that will be collecting and treating Blackwater, rainwater, and condensate to flush the toilets as well as to provide water for irrigation. Similar to the Denver example, the building is not currently occupied, so the system is not able to come online, but hopefully in 21 that they'll be able to occupy the system, and they anticipate saving about 1.5 million gallons of potable water each year. Looking all the way across the country to New York City actually has been operating decentralized water treatment systems in an area called Battery Park. It's a number of buildings that have both single systems and individual buildings as well as district scale systems in this redevelopment project. But the New York City itself, DEP has gone ahead and actually provided a grant program to incentivize other types of buildings and neighborhoods in New York to install on-site water treatment systems. And in fact, there's a large redevelopment project currently that's on the books that is proposing to install a very large scale district Blackwater treatment system. Hassalo on 8th in Portland, Oregon, it currently is in operation. It's a mixed-use development. It collects and treats 100% of all the Blackwater for about 45,000 gallons a day for toilet flushing and irrigation. And this project was a unique partnership between the developer and the sewer utility as a means to minimize any impacts on the combined sewer system in Portland. The city of Vancouver has a very extensive operator training program for on-site water treatment systems. They have rainwater harvesting systems in the city of Vancouver to help with sewer overflows. And if actually an on-site water treatment system is not mandated, but if they do, they need to use the water for toilet flushing. As well as for irrigation. But they have a very extensive permitting program as well as an operator certification program, and it's to encourage the proper ongoing monitoring and reporting for these treatment systems. Alaska, another example. Alaska has a water and sewer challenge. It's very unique. They're currently testing on-site reuse systems in rural homes to improve village access to water and sanitation. Their goal really is to reduce capital and operating costs of in-home water and sewer in rural Alaska homes, as they have found that a centralized approach is just way too expensive and not affordable. And so Alaska has been coordinating and collaborating with EPA to expand the LRTs that we developed earlier for gray water, that for the end use is actually applications that actually could be used for showering. So we're seeing that the LRT work that we've been working on is expanding beyond non-potable, but actually getting into applications such as showering. Also, one of our other partners in our collaboration is the Army. The U.S. Army is doing a lot of research in the area of on-site water reuse. They see this as an important effort. Certainly that water reuse for them, from their perspective, reduces the demand in remote field settings where access is very, very challenging. And so they have Army policy and regulations, obviously, for shower, laundry, and latrine reuse in the field. And they're researching a number of different systems for gray water to produce potable water, for treatment processes for direct potable reuse, as well as under the sink reuse treatment systems. And so they're doing a lot of exciting work in the area of on-site reuse. We've also been working very closely with EPA. As I mentioned, they're one of our partners in the National Blue Ribbon Commission. They recently released a calculator. It's been draft form, but it will be released at the end of this year. It's a tool really to help communities look at what it does mean to have an on-site water treatment system in their community. And each community can import their own data in terms of where they are geographically across the US, and look at, again, the benefits that a community may see. And so it's an important tool and a calculator, and I will share with Dennis the link when we get the calculator available. Currently, what we're working on under the National Blue Ribbon Commission is really looking at operators and operator capacity. We recognize that we want to increase the number of operators and skilled operators to run these on-site water treatment systems. What's unique about on-site water treatment systems is not necessarily a water treatment system, it's not necessarily a wastewater treatment system, it's treatment technologies that actually incorporate both types of technologies commonly used in water and wastewater treatment. And so we are developing again in partnership with the Water Environment Federation to develop a certificate exam for increasing the number of certified operators. And so we're excited about this opportunity and look forward to moving forward on this in the coming year. We also have a number of other research priorities under the National Blue Ribbon Commission, and we're looking at expanding the risk-based framework, as I mentioned, certainly for gray water for skin contact that's underway for Alaska, but we're also looking at additional sources such as condensate, as well as expanding the end uses for things like clothes washing. As I mentioned, the life cycle evaluation that EPA through their calculator tool, looking at expanding that tool in 2021 to look at, is there a benefit for sewer overflows and capacity issues for cities that are actually experiencing CSO challenges. We also want to explore, and we haven't moved forward on this research priority, is to develop pathogen log removal credits for natural treatment systems, such as our engineered wetland treatment system that we have in our headquarters pictured in this building. We don't have established pathogen LRT credit for these types of treatment systems, and we certainly want to encourage all types of systems, MBRs, as well as wetland treatment systems. And by establishing a log removal credit, we hope that we can encourage that type of application. So just in terms of working on a national level and working through the National Blue Ribbon Commission, really it's been an exciting effort. We have a consensus approach, and this consensus is among public health regulators and utilities. And this approach, again, is really about ensuring that on-site water treatment systems are protective of public health. And that's why we've agreed, all of us have agreed to this health risk-based approach that was established through the NWRI report. And it's really important, again, our goal is to get, what's happening in California is similar to what's going to be happening in Hawaii or Colorado or Minnesota or New York, again, to create this consistency. So hopefully, we would have more cost-effective treatment systems. It makes it easier on vendors, again, operators, and the whole area. And we also I just want to add a couple last things, and then I'm concluding, is that the National Blue Ribbon Commission is part of the EPA Water Reuse Action Plan. We are actually a number 2.3.4. So we are part of that plan. We're very excited. And we're also, for our future work that we're doing, aside from looking for funding for our final research priority about the wetlands, is to align all of our work with the plumbing codes, ICC, IAPMO, also working with NSF, the Green Building Council, on the risk-based approach. And so I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to participate. The link here, waterreuse.org/NBRC, is where you can find all of our national work, as well as sfwater.org. You can find San Francisco's work, as well as a link to our national work. So thank you, Dennis. I really appreciate the opportunity to share the work that we're doing and encourage folks to go to our websites. Thank you.